so that hopefully it was a little bit selfish.
Yes, if he goes into peace, then you're safe.
Yeah,
but you still didn't.
And I wished him healing, and
Yes.
and if I wish those things or pray for those things,
Yes.
Will that reattach any cords or alert him of my existence?
Get his attention back on you.
Yes.
Well, it's possible that your good thoughts, even if they were self-interested, they were still good thoughts, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't do a spell that put peace into him. You didn't insert peace in him. You just wished him peace so he could take it or leave it, right? You understand the difference, yes?
Yeah.
You do not put anything into a person. You do not do spell work that manipulates a person. But wishing him, praying that he finds these emotions that give him the ability to move forward within himself in a higher frequency. This is lovely. We say that you do not need to focus on him any further, though. You have done your well-wishing, and that is lovely. No, at this time, now had you done that tomorrow, we would say, maybe more cords, yes? But now you did it before, and now the cords are being removed from you, and there are quite a few, and not all of them are to him. You know, cords are never appropriate, even between parent and child. Walking side by side on the same path, but being tethered is never appropriate. And it is very, very, very normal for humans to put out these tentacles of attachment, yes, on both sides. You want to attach the other person, it's very normal. So, and it's never appropriate. It's always ideal to be you, and the other person can be them, and then you walk side by side and hold hands if you wish. So these cords are being removed, and they are being placed on this sphere of light, divine light. So everybody is still attached, but they are now attached to divine love.
Will that negatively impact my bond with my partner?
No.
Okay.
Only in a better way. Only in a better way, you see. It only makes it better.
Okay.
There is not an obligation. There is not an entanglement. There is a partnership. Yes, you understand the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So no, it will just impact it in a better way. Sometimes we need to be silent for a moment. All right. They're saying that this is enough for now. And where the cords were on your physical vessel and your etheric body, the etheric body, is the one that animates the physical body, yes? So in the etheric body, Auxilius is going to be cauterizing those wounds, those spaces, from the detachment. But in your physical body, light is going to be, if you are in agreement, the angelic realm is pouring divine light into you.
Okay.
Yes? Good.
Sure.
So this is going to increase your frequency.
Will this help with my anger?
Yes. But this is an aspect of the clearing. The anger is an aspect of the clearing that is being done with you. Removing all those things that do not serve you, and the anger does not serve you. Anger is appropriate sometimes, but it should be an adrenaline response, yes, and not something that you carry. And it's normal for humans to carry the anger, yes, it's normal. And anger toward yourself, which is, we want very much to free you from that. So they are going to be removing that emotion that is not part of you. Now, will you be angry sometimes? Of course. Will you have a reaction when the anger is being removed? Possibly. You understand well about healing crises. Yes, you know about them.
Yeah.
So you may have some healing crises while this is going on. We want you to remember that it is a healing crisis and it is not necessarily an appropriate response. And we want you to be prepared to recognize that, and if need be, tell your partner that this is going on. You're being cleared of these unsuccessful emotions. They are unsuccessful, yes, and that you may have a reaction and you may be unaware of it. And if you can find a loving way for him to call your attention to that fact without him, sometimes partners will think they can call you out on anything. Yes, they can, what do we say, lord it over you. Is this an understood phrase? Yes. So we want it to be done in a loving way on his side, not in a way of spiritual arrogance. So if he is able to do that for you with a word, it could be a silly word where he sees that you are becoming angry, or you are becoming depressed, or you are becoming sullen or melancholy without cause, without substantial cause. And that he can say a word that you will agree will call your attention to the fact that this is part of the healing and these emotions are leaving you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, some of the emotions that are leaving may be some of the fear and paranoia I've been feeling around this curse.
Yes.
And around this person.
Yes, because that's being removed. The curse is being removed. The person has been detached from you now. The curse is no more. It is no more.
And he can't ever bring it back or recast it?
Only if you remain in paranoia about it. Yes, that is a vulnerability, but those emotions are going to be removed from you.
Okay.
Because they are no longer relevant. You see, there's no longer a curse. There's no longer an attachment. So worrying about it creates a vulnerability that invites it back in. Do you understand? So, I'm paranoid. Let me justify that. I don't want to think that I'm paranoid for nothing. Let me recreate the drama, which is a normal human behavior. So when we say this to you, we don't want you to feel that we are saying, oh, you're flawed. No, you are not flawed, Sonia. You are not. This is a normal behavior. So that is why this is being done over 5 days rather than instantaneously, so that you can gradually become familiar with the feeling of the higher frequency of your vibration. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yes. So those negative emotions that do not serve you. Now we say, are you paranoid if someone is really following you? Yes. But at this time, it's cleared. The curse, is there any residual? They're still working on you. You understand? They're still working. So they're removing everything related to that person, to the Mason. He is going to be completely out of your life. The fact that the cords are attached to divine light will prevent him from refocusing on you in any way.
Okay.
And if he does, it will not be with malevolence. He will not have the energetic motivation, if you understand.
Okay.
Yes. So that is going to be, and they're saying also they are putting a shield up around you.
Okay.
They're
thank
putting,
you.
yes, they're putting, and that is largely the job of Auxilius, to shield you.
Okay.
Those wings are very large, yes?
Yeah.
So you're going to really enjoy the relationship with Auxilius. You're going to very much enjoy it. We want to tell you that in another incarnation you were a dragon rider. You were one of a small group of humans who had that kind of relationship with dragons, that they were allowed to ride on them in the air. So you were a dragon rider, and it was a partnership. It wasn't that you had a horse that you told what to do. No, it was a partnership, and you worked very hard together, trying to maintain equilibrium and peace and integrity in human relationships with the earth and with trees and animals. So you were dragon rider. So once again, you can become dragon rider, only it will not be a physical riding, it will be an energetic riding. But that is going to develop over time. You need first to trust Auxilius's presence in your life. You need to understand about dragon energy once again, as you did in the past. It should be easy for you because it will be a remembering, you understand, not a learning something new. So yes, this is happening, and you will be shielded. They have things that they would like to suggest to you. Do you have any questions at this point before we start giving you homework?
I do.
Okay.
My little dog was killed in the car accident, shortly thereafter, and our lovely channel told me that she was going to die anyway, in a much worse way, and that she would come back to me in a year. Can you tell me any more details about that?
Yes, we can. Yes, there is another canine, another dog. We know dog. There's another dog with whom she lived with you. Quite a remarkable being, and he left a while ago. She was lonely for him, and while he was in contact still, she was very lonely for him. Her sensitivities to the changes on the earth, you know how the earth is in transition, yes, in an extinction process, and she was very sensitive to that, and you didn't really see it. She kept it hidden from you. You didn't know that she would pick up the well, sometimes you knew, you were aware of her sensitivity, but she would feel the fears and angers and disconnections in the souls on the planet. You know, those emotions are floating around on the planet, yes? So she was protecting you from picking them up as much as she could by picking them up herself. And she wanted to do this. This is why dogs come into the lives of humans, because they have some work to do for you.
And in what form will she come back to me?
She will come back to you as another dog. She says at this time, this is the plan at this time. We don't feel that there will be a human child. It could be a human child, but we don't think so. We don't think so. Her plan is to come back again as another dog, possibly a larger breed, but that is not yet determined. But she needed to leave. She needed to go. She needed to get out of a physical body. She needed to rest from the work she had done, and you needed to be on your own to get you in a place where you had to come and talk to us or someone like us, yes? You needed to go deeper into yourself, and you needed to get cleared of all these energetics that were holding you down and holding you back. You needed to do that, and you would not have done that. You would have continued living daily as you had been, doing your work, helping other people, barely maintaining your life function, yes? So you needed the freedom to stop helping other people and to allow yourself the healing, the deep healing that is now going to be taking place. And not just from today, not just from talking with us and working with the angelics and meeting with Auxilius, but there are other things that are going to be helping you as well. Other humans are coming into your life to assist you, and there are changes ahead for you. So, no, this lovely dog, we wish we had dogs where we were. We like them so much. And cats as well. But she, if she had not been able to leave as she did, she would have had to develop a debilitating illness that would have brought great pain and long-term pain, yes? And she would have kept it to herself, and she would have been suffering for a much longer time before you even knew she was ill, yes? You know how they do this, dogs. They're very, you call it stoic, yes?
Yeah.
So she did what she needed to do, and she is sorry for the pain that her departure has caused you.
Would it cause her any pain or prevent her from coming back if I were to have another pet?
Absolutely not. No, she's going to come back whether you have 20 goldfish or 50 dogs. She's coming back. She's coming back to you. And we say 1 year, it may be a little bit longer, 1.5 years, 1.5 years. What is this? Okay, you know what 1.5 years is. We don't need to know. But she is coming back to you. And, but yes, it would not be untoward for you to have another companion as soon as you wish. As soon as you wish. There is nothing wrong with that. There's no...
it won't hurt her feelings.
Oh, they don't work like that. She knows the love that you have for one another. Your bond with her is unbroken and will remain unbroken. She wants you to laugh. She wants you to smile. And she knows that if you have another, we think a dog is the right companion, yes? If you have another dog, you will smile again. You will be able to. No. Please don't think that she has any feelings like that. No, and you know, once one is released from spirit, from physical into spirit, those ego emotions of jealousy and resentment, they don't exist. Those are ego emotions, and the ego is a good tool because it allows you to think that you are differentiated from others. Excuse us, you know, when we talk so much and drink liquids, the body makes these ugly noises. We're sorry for that. We haven't found a way to prevent it.
It's okay.
So no, those ego emotions that allow you to be differentiated in order to learn the lessons and contribute the assistance that your soul decided you would do in this incarnation. And for dogs and cats and fish and insects as well, they all have their own soul missions, yes? Mm-hmm. Those ego emotions are gone. They're gone. So she does not have jealousy. She does not have resentment. She has nothing but love, and so grateful to you. So grateful to you for making the choice you did for her. She cannot tell you how grateful she is. She wants you to know absolutely that had you done, there was a procedure you could have done for her that maybe would have kept her in her body. She wants you to know that had you done that, she would not have been able to heal properly, and she would have had great pain and would have left shortly anyway.
Okay.
So you saved her. You saved her from additional physical suffering.
Okay.
She wants you to know that. That is absolutely the truth, Sonia. That is not anyone saying, oh, don't worry, you did the right thing. No, that is an absolute truth.
Okay. I have one more question.
Of
It's
course.
on a different subject.
Of course.
Is there steps I can take to become aware of, comfortable with, in communication with my spirit guides?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And the channel didn't tell you this, but working with us is an initiation to a higher level of awareness.
Okay.
So we got you here, so because your soul was ready for the next step. So that is going to be, we'll say, a byproduct of working with us. But you are going to be in a higher level of frequency. Your energy.
A former mentor taught me to be afraid of spirit guides because she claimed that she had one that claimed to be her spirit guide but was malevolent. How will I know that my spirit guides are my spirit guides and not malevolent entities?
We understand that. Because, and that is why the channel works only at 9th dimension and higher, so that nothing can come in with a false face. Yes, it's only of the light. So what we will do is we will introduce you to 3 of your guides, and we will give you a way. We're saying this, we have no idea what's coming after, but we are told that 3 of your guides are going to step forward. Now there are 7 who work with you regularly.
Is one of those my grandmother?
It's difficult with loved ones who pass and continue to watch over you, because they are not necessarily at a certain level of their own spiritual development that they are able to be spirit guides.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So she is a caretaker. She watches over you. She will watch over you while you sleep to assist, but we want to give you certain tools that you can incorporate into your physical world to assist you in these things. But so we will say that your grandmother hovers near you. One aspect of her hovers around you to make certain that you are going to be all right.
Okay.
That you are all right. We say going to be all right because you have a difficult time choosing happiness. Yes, it's difficult for you to maintain happiness.
Yeah.
But that is because of the bombardment of energetics from others, and your energy fields have been fractured for a while, and so you have been infiltrated. Yes, so it would be, if you were able to choose happiness sincerely and not fake it, if you could sincerely be happy, we would be surprised. So we want you to understand that part of the process with the angelic realm, and then with Auxilius and his cauterization, is that your energy fields are going to be cohesive and are going to be whole and without fracture. So you will not be vulnerable to infiltration.
Okay.
Unless you go into patterns that are familiar and therefore comfortable, that cause the damage that fractures it. But we think that you will not. We think we're going to give you other tools that you can incorporate. So instead of going to what you're familiar with, it's much easier to follow the same pathway, and instead of taking a new pathway. Yes, but we think that you are ready to follow a new pathway that is life affirming for you, rather than allowing yourself to continue repeating things that are damaging for you. And this is just normal for humans. Yes, we don't say, oh, you've been doing it wrong. No, you've been doing it like a human. Yes, you understand. Yes, you know, we are not saying you have been wrong or weak or inappropriate. You have been human. Human goes in stages of evolution. You are just ready for the next stage within yourself. So grandmother will be with you, probably always. You've had other incarnations together, you and grandmother. We would say you were temple priestesses together in a much earlier time on your planet. We would say that it began, we want to say, in Lemuria, which was for the most part a rather idyllic utopian society, and then we're going to skip over Atlantis and go to the Peruvian. Well, it was earlier than the Maya civilization. Yes, it was very long ago. But when you think of the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Olmecs, and but it was an earlier prototype. It was actually an Atlantean colony in the mountains of that continent. In the South America. Yes, South America is correct. So you were temple priestesses together in 3 different civilizations that we are looking at, that are very ancient, that are millennia old, tens of thousands of years old. So and then you've had other human incarnations together in various forms over the millennia. But so you and grandmother have a good connection. What is her first name?
Her name is Jane.
Jane?
Well, Ella Jane, but
that's
she went by Jane.
That's nice. Both are nice. Yes. So we will say that your connection to one another will maintain throughout this physical incarnation for you, and then of course you will meet one another in spirit when you transition from this incarnation, but that's many decades in the future.
Okay, I just remembered one more question, if that's okay.
As many questions as you wish.
The original goddess, what was her name? What was she called?
The divine feminine who came to Earth in the beginning, the very beginning.
The one that I've been praying to, and I would assume it's the same one. I just call her goddess, and I wish I knew a better name for her.
Well, there is a spiritual blueprint of energetics. So, but we would say that the earliest named presence of the divine feminine. Here, this is going to be. There is Hecate, there is Inanna, there is Anahita, there is Sophia, there is also Lilith. Lilith was an aspect of the earliest female divine feminine presence on the planet, of divine feminine presence who walked on the earth and assisted in the creation of the pathway of spiritual love and kindness. So if there is a name among those that we have just said, if there is a word that you like, Inanna, Anahita, Hecate, Lilith. But we would say for you perhaps, and Sophia, of course, but we feel Anahita is a good word for you to use.
Okay.
As a prototype, that sounds so clinical, doesn't it? But you understand the divine feminine came and took on physical form at different times in the planet's evolution. But we're not talking about the source that people say is God. So we're not saying God, goddess. Because God, as people conceive of an origination point, this is unknowable for humans. But then there are aspects of the creator source that would be considered God, goddess. And they would come, and then there are the archangels and the angelic realm, and there are other beings that humans don't really have interaction with, that are up there in those dimensions of divine light. So the divine masculine, the divine feminine have come into physical personifications to walk physically on different planets, not just the Earth, but we talk of the Earth in your incarnation now. So we would say that the form of Anahita is one of the earliest forms that the divine feminine has taken, and is perhaps a gentler form than the form of Hecate, who is a bit older, a bit more primal, a bit less civilized, if you will.
Okay.
The channel loves Hecate, but we would say that Anahita, who came back as, who not came back, but was also worshipped as Inanna, as Ishtar. So we think Anahita is a nice word, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's a pretty name, we think, Anahita. And so we would say that this would be a good word for you to use for her. But we would not come more recently than that for you. You know, we would not say Persephone or Demeter or those who came early or later, and they were really not necessarily of the divine. They were more extraterrestrials, you call us, yes?
Oh,
okay. They were physical beings from another planet who came and were worshipped as deities, but in fact they were extraterrestrials. So we would say that the older ones, the ones that